today's video, we're going to be reviewing our rounding on the nearest tens and the nearest hundreds. We're going to go ahead and complete the chart. On the right hand side, you see the little notes that I have. For 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, we're rounding down. And for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I have an arrow that means we're gonna be rounding up. Okay, so for number 1, we have 212. For number 2, we have 658. For number 3, we have 462. Number 4, we have 832. For number 5, we have 777. Number 6, we have 57. Number 7, we have 538. And for number 8, we have 108. And for number 9, we have 338. And for the last one, we have 634. Okay, so let's start off by number 1. We have 212. So the first one we're going to do is round to the nearest 10. So when we're rounding to the nearest tens, we're going to go ahead and look at the ones place. Okay, now when we round to the nearest tens, we're looking at the ones place. And then when on the right hand side, you look, okay, the 2, is it going down or is it going up? It's going down. So we're going to round, and it's going to be 200. It's either 210 or 220. What is it close for? It's going to be 210. Okay, for same one, number 1, but now we're going to round to the nearest hundreds. And when we rounding to the nearest hundreds, we're going to look at the 10th place. Okay, so we're looking at 1 for rounding to the nearest hundreds. We go on the right hand side and look at the chart. Whereas 1 is where the arrow is going down. So that means, are we going to round to 200 or are we going to round to 300? Okay, and since 1 is going down, we're going to round to 200. Okay, and for number 2, same thing. We're going to go and look for rounding for the nearest 10. So we're going to look at the 1s, and we look that is in 8. Okay, so are we going to round? Is it going to be 650 or is it closer to 660? And hopefully you guys are saying it's closer to 660 because we look at the 8 and the 8 is going up. Okay, now we're going to go and look for the hundreds, and we're going to look at the 10th place. And the 10th place has a 5. We look on the right hand side, 5, we look at the arrow and it says we're rounding up. So is it closer to 600 or is it closer to 700? Hopefully you guys went ahead and say that it's closer to 700. Okay, now for number 3, we have 462. We're going to go ahead and round to the nearest tens. So we're going to go and look at the ones place. And we have 2. We look on the right hand side, 2, we're rounding down. So is it closer to 460 or is it closer to 470? And hopefully you guys said that it is closer to 460. Okay, now we're gonna round to the hundreds. We're gonna go ahead and look at the 10th place, and the 10th place is 6. Look on the right hand side on the chart, the 6 is rounding up. So we're saying, is it closer to 400 or is it closer to 500? And it's going to be closer to 500. Okay, now we have number 4, 832. We're going to go and round to the nearest tens. We're going to go and look at the ones place, and the ones place is 2. We'll look at the chart. 2 says we're rounding down. So is it closer to 830? Or is it closer to 840? And hopefully you guys say it is rounding and it is closer to 830. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and round to the nearest hundreds. So you can go ahead and underline the 10th, and we have for 3. Look on the right hand side, we go ahead and it's going down. So is it closer to 800 or is it closer to 900? And hopefully you guys said it is closer to 800. Okay, now for number 5, you have 777. So you're gonna go ahead and look at the 7 at the ones place to round to the 10. And is it closer to 770 or is it closer to 780? And we look at the right hand side, 7 says we're rounding up. So it's going to be closer to 780. Okay. Now for same one, number 5, rounding to the nearest hundreds, we're going to look at the tens place. And we're looking at the tens place, we have the number 7. So on the right hand side, it says we're going rounding up. So is it going to be closer to 700 or is it going to be closer to 800? Hopefully you guys say it is closer to 800. Okay. Now for number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, try to go ahead and press pause on the videos now and go ahead and challenge yourself and try to do 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own. Once you finish that, go ahead and press play and see if you have the same answer as I do. And if not, see where you go ahead and did your mistake, okay? Now, if you're looking at it, a clue that I'm giving you guys, when you're rounding your nearest tens, you are not moving your hundreds. Your 2, your 6, your 4, your 8, and your 7 stays the same, okay? The only thing you guys are moving might be your tens places, and all your ones is going to become 0 no matter what, okay? Now, same thing for your hundreds. In your hundreds, the only thing everything's going to switch to 2 zeros, and the only thing that you're changing is going to be in your hundreds. Okay, those are the little clues that you can go ahead and think when you're solving 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so let's start with number 6. Okay, we're going to go ahead and round 57 into the nearest 10, and your answer is going to be 60, and for your hundreds, it's going to be 100. Okay, for number 7, we have 538. Your answer is going to be 540, and for your hundreds, it's going to be 500. Okay, and for number 8, we have 108. We're going to round that to 110 and the tens, and then the hundreds is going to be rounded to 100. Now for number 9, we have 338, and it's going to be rounded to 340, and it's going to be rounded in the hundreds to 300. For number 10, you have 634. It's going to be rounded to 630, and for your hundreds, it's going to be rounded to 600s. Okay. Now, if you think you're still having problems, like I always say, go ahead and watch over the video over and over. Then I also have some other examples on rounding to the nearest tens and nearest hundreds. I will put the link down below in the description so you can go ahead and review more in rounding. And once again, thank you for watching.